Okay, so in this video we're going to be looking at solving one-step and two-step equations. That's the focus of this video. So the first one, I've popped an example on there for us to have a look at, which is this one here. Okay, and just below I put x equals. That's always what we're looking for in these sorts of equations. If you're solving an equation, you're getting x equals or a equals or whatever the variable or letter basically is. So in this case we are trying to make x equals. So at the moment it's x plus 6 is 21. We don't want this plus 6, it's got to go. Now the way we get rid of it is by doing the opposite. So instead of plussing 6, we're going to take away 6 or subtract 6. Okay. The reason we do that is because 6 take away 6 is 0. So essentially this is gone and we're just left with the x. So we can cross that out now. And then we're doing 21 take away 6, which is just 15. So that is job done. If you just want to double check, put your number back in. 15 plus 6 is 21, so we're all good. Okay, that's one example. Moving on, got another one here. This time the only difference is the sign change. So it was a plus a minute ago and now it's a minus. So in this case, instead of subtracting 6, we're going to be plussing 6. Okay, we're adding the 6 on. Now it's gone. We get 27. That's our answer, because 21 plus 6 is 27. And again, job done. Moving on again. This one's a little bit different, because these guys are timesing with each other. 2x means 2 times x. So to undo that times, to get rid of it, do the opposite of timesing, which is dividing. Oops, so on both sides we will be dividing by 2. Okay, so you should get 12. Okay, that's gone now. And then we just divide it by 2 and you get 12. Last but not least, on the one-step equations, these are all one step because they only do, one step. Okay, we've got this one here. Now these ones always look quite complicated. Essentially, you're looking for something divided by 2 makes 12. We're trying to find out what that something is. Now again, we're doing the opposite each time. Okay, opposite. At the moment, we are dividing by 2. That's what that means. So to undo that, to get rid of it, we're going to do the opposite, which is times by 2. Times by 2. That will get rid of that at the bottom. Okay, and 12 times 2 is just 24. Okay, and that's job done. Right, that's all it is. The hardest ones are usually these ones. They actually aren't too bad once you get to grips with them. We're going to move on up now to looking at some two-step equations. Now again, we're looking for making it x equals. That's our end goal. However, it's going to have 2 steps to get there rather than just the one. Now, at the moment, we have our x's on the left, so this is going to be our x side. And anything that is not an x is going to have to end up on this other side. Now, what you want to start with is moving this plus 1 here. So I already know this middle step is going to be 2x equals. Okay, we need to get rid of this plus 1. Now, to move a plus 1, we do the opposite of plus, which is subtract. Okay, the opposite of add is take away, so we're going to take away that 1 from both sides, subtracting that 1. So on this side, it disappears. Okay, it's gone. That's why we just got 2x. And on this side, 15 take away 1 is 14. Okay. Now, this is looking awfully familiar. It's looking just like what we did before with those one-step equations. Reminder, this means multiply. So to get rid of that 2 there, we're going to divide. And we're going to divide by the 2, because that is going to get rid of it. Okay, we divide by the 2, and we get x is equal to 7. Okay, because 14 divided by 2 makes 7. You could put your number back in to check. So 2x, so 2 times 7 is 14. plus 1 makes 15. So we know we're correct. A couple more 2 steps just to make sure we really consolidate this. So this is our next one. Okay, again our x's are on the left, so this is going to be our x side. Only x's are wanted here. So that middle step, I can tell you straight away, is going to be a 3x equals. That last step will be an x equals. Okay, we want to move first this minus 1. Get rid of it because it's not an x, or it's not attached to an x. So it's got to go first. So to move a minus 1, we're going to plus the 1. Plus the 1. That will go. 17 plus 1, 18. Okay, that's 3 x's. We only want 1. Reminder, that means times. So to get rid of that multiply, we will be dividing by 3. Dividing by 3. Okay, so x is equal to 6. Again, you can put your number into check. So 3 times 6 is 18. Take away 1 does make 17. And all you're doing there is doing your steps backwards. Right? Got one final example to show, to help. And it's a bit of a whopper. Not an easy one by any means. Okay, we've got an x subtract 1 all divided by 2 is equal to 4. The tricky part on this is knowing where do you start. Usually, we've been starting by moving this plus 1. However, you can't quite do that in the same way because it's currently being divided by 2, the whole thing. Imagine this is a fraction. Okay, you can't add or subtract fractions unless they have the same denominator, and over here it does not quite have the same denominator. But instead what we can do is get rid of this divide by 2 straight away. We can get rid of it by doing the opposite of dividing by 2, which is multiplying by 2. The reason we want to do this is because then it disappears. All we have on the left then is x subtract 1, which will be quite easy to deal with in a second. And that is all equal to 8 now. Now we can solve this easy peasy by plussing the 1. Because then we get x is equal to 9. And again, that's job done. Okay, all you're doing is working backwards with those steps. Now, that is the end of my main examples. I'm going to show you one more. Up to you whether you need it or not, you might not. However, this final example has some trickier parts in it because we've got essentially a fraction here. And it's going to take us 2 steps. Now, if this was, say, 3x minus 2 is 4, it would look a lot easier to do. But essentially, they should be equally as easy as each other. So this again is our x side. We only want x's on this side. Okay, so we're going to have to move this minus 2 first. We're getting pretty good at this. We'll move this by plussing the 2. Okay, so on the left, x over 3 is equal to 6. We're plussing the 2 on there. And our final step, at the moment we're dividing by 3. So to get rid of that, we will multiply by 3. So x is equal to 18. Job done. Okay, and they are all the types of 1 and 2 step equations you're likely to see. Okay, if you're sitting GCSE. Right. Thanks for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.